fallout that we are looking at, because this is where India gets impacted. 3 ships, 3 attacks, and 3 Indians, unfortunately, who lost their lives. As the tensions escalate in the Gulf of Oman, commercial vessels that are carrying Indian crew members have come under attack in 3 separate incidents reported in the last 4 days. One vessel after another was hit, while dozens of Indian sailors were also rescued. Unfortunately, 3 of them lost their lives. Now, India has formally taken up the matter with the United States, seeking answers on these strikes that have taken place, and vehemently has also lodged a very strong protest. Let's connect with Mayank on this. So Mayank, India once again reiterating the point for dialogue and cessation of hostilities. Unfortunately, there are Indian casualties that have also been reported.
Yeah, India has right from the beginning has talking about diplomacy. But then the kind of diplomacy and threats we have seen, it's like a kaleidoscope of whole range of things which can be utilized for during mitigations and such high tension talks. But then the worst part was the missile fired on a merchant vessel, which took away lives of 3 innocent Indians. And in that case, see, it's very sensitive with regards to the kind of presence of Indian seafarers in that area is. And yesterday the figures which was released by the Ministry of Shipping, Ports and Waterways was that almost 18,000 Indian seafarers are still in that region. 13 such vessels are still stuck up into that area. And giving the specific figures, on-board figures, is almost more than 500 people. 300 on the western side of above 300 persons on the western side of the Strait of Hormuz, and almost 230, 233 on at the entry point of Gulf of Oman. This is the kind of ratio and high presence of Indian seafarers in that area. So let's say tomorrow something happens, or if any other ship is struck, it may have a high probability that an Indian will be affected indirectly or indirectly, Amita.
That is
but
because
then still,
the large number of, when we speak of the presence there of the Indian residents, almost to a crore who seems to be residing in the Gulf, and multiple as far as when it comes to the numerically, if we talk about the numbers of the Indian workers also who are hired by these international ships as well, that seems to be, also the movement that has been restricted in and around the Strait of Hormuz, and beyond that is the US naval blockade that seems to be adding to the tensions there in the Middle East. Mayank, appreciate you joining us here on the broadcast, because amid the rising tensions in the Gulf region, the government of India has gone on high alert to safeguard Indian seafarers and maritime interests. With the Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways that is closely monitoring the developments in and around the Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf of Oman, while coordinating with the Ministry of External Affairs, the Indian Navy and the other stakeholders. Now, Union Minister Sarbananda Sonowal has reiterated that the government remains fully committed to the safety, security and the welfare of every Indian seafarer. Now, earlier we spoke to Rajesh Sharma, a father who was struggling to come to terms with an unimaginable loss. His 23-year-old son was one of the 3 Indians who were killed, Aditya Sharma, who was serving as a deck cadet on board the MT Settlebello. Aditya had joined the vessel just about 6 months ago, beginning a journey that was meant to shape his future. Today, that journey has been abruptly cut short. It's a very difficult time for you and your family, sir, and looking at the circumstances, जिस तरह से हालात बनते हुए जा रहे हैं, unfortunately we have lost 2 more of the seafarers who were along with Aditya.
Knowing that situation, that US Army has gone mad and they are hitting vessels with deadly armed ammunition, how did and under whose consent or pressure that this ship's captain take decision to move this ship towards Gulf through Strait of Hormuz, where double blockade has been from USA and Iran.
Right.
And why did we take this decision? And why did US Army use this weapon, missile, to hit the ship, cargo ship, which is a commercial ship? They are not taking any ammunition, or they are not a bar ship. That was a oil tanker. और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को भी इंस्ट्रक्शन देनी चाहिए ऑल शिपिंग कंपनीज को और जितने भी शिप्स इस रीजन में है कि विदाउट confirmation or consent, don't move their ship towards Strait of Hormuz.
There were 3 of them: Patnala Suresh, chief engineer from Andhra Pradesh; Shivanand Chaurasia, engineer fitter from Uttar Pradesh; and Aditya Sharma, young sailor from Himachal Pradesh. 3 Indians who lost their lives at sea. They set sail for work, for responsibility, for the promise of returning home. And instead, their families received this news and now expected that their mortal remains will be handed over to them very soon. But behind the headlines and the geopolitical fallout are the 3 Indian lives that has been cut short and their homes that will carry this loss forever.
When this particular attack happened on the ship Sedebello, we lodged a strong protest with the American side. We called in the American CDA and he was conveyed our deepest concerns on the ongoing incidents of attacks. These attacks came from the US Naval US Navy that is stationed there. The 3 ships that have been involved in the incidents are foreign flagged. 2 of them are Palau flagged, and the 3rd one, which came under attack today, is Guinea flagged. So that is, they are not Indian-owned ships, they are all foreign flagged ships.